Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar on our Boopsie Analytics platform. My name is Katie Stenson, and I'm the account manager here at Boopsie for Libraries. I want to just quickly start out with a quick housekeeping tip before we begin. I typically leave everyone on mute during the webinars to avoid any audio issues, but feel free to type questions into the question box on your dashboard at any time. So I actually clicked a little bit ahead of ourselves, but a few seconds ago. So I just wanted to go over right before we go into our webinar today. I just want to let everybody know about the great opportunities for you to meet a Boopsie team member, myself included, in the summer. So our Director of Sales, Megan Vizzini, is going to be headed to the Canadian Library Association in Ottawa. You can also meet our CEO, Tony Madrano, and account executive, Ray King, and Megan also at the Celestial Libraries Association Conference, which will be hosted in Boston. Since ALA is going to be since it'll be hosted in San Francisco, which is right up the peninsula from us, actually a majority of our team is going to be available to meet and greet, including myself, for ALA Annual. And then to round out our summer, we're also going to be attending the American Association of Law Libraries in Philadelphia and Digipalooza in Cleveland as well. So just wanted to quickly give you a quick overview before we head over. So here's a quick little background on Boopsie Analytics. We launched Boopsie Analytics in May of last year. In the first version, the first rollout, you could view monthly reports of the downloads and unique users. Then a few months later, we added additional data sets allowing libraries to access queries, and for non-consortial library apps, the main menu channel visits. So the great thing about Boopsie Analytics is, not necessarily everyone's going to know what qualifies as a unique user, what qualifies as a query. So we do have the definitions in the dashboard as well. They appear below the stats actual reports. So I know one of the more confusing stats metrics that we have are for queries. Queries refer to any time that a user of a library app on the Boopsie mobile platform produces an action, whether it be a click or keystrokes that queries the library's various holdings or databases, including those that are owned by third parties, but that the library subscribes to. So we'll see when the library access or your patrons access like Overdrive through your app as well. So if you're, for example, if your patrons are performing a catalog search for holes, that search would show up as 5 queries because there's 5 letters in the word holes. The main menu channel visits, therefore, since it is based off of queries, it does often show a higher usage in the catalog than, say, the library hours section of the app. So Boopsie Analytics helps you gauge success. So you've put a lot of time and effort into your app, and we want to be able to show you how your library or your patrons are accessing, or like how you're being able to reach your patrons. So here's a great quote from the Milwaukee County Federated Library System. So in only a year, the monthly number of unique users increased by 3,000. And they put in a lot of work into their app, and we know that marketing is very important to increase downloads and unique users. And once you look at the stats, you can actually see that working. So as many as 60,000 apps are added to the Apple App Store every month, but not as many are used that frequently, or they're used a lot at first, and then they kind of slowly, people forget to use it. You can't, just launch an app and forget about it. So you definitely have to continue that marketing and making sure it has the best user experience for your patrons, which, is something that we've seen with some of our libraries as well, unfortunately, is that, they start out really high and strong when they, start marketing their app, and then they kind of drop off, not mentioning in newsletters or not mentioning it at like events or anything along those lines. So it kind of slowly kind of levels out. And so another thing is that you get to see these trends that are with your usage as well, with your stats. For instance, I can always point out the academic library in a group of stats because they're very cyclical in nature, which is kind of expected because, students are there only for a certain time of the year for the most part, or there are more students, for instance, in the fall and winter than they are necessarily in the spring and summer semesters. So often, you'll see a spike in downloads and usage in around August or September, and it kind of drops off about December, and it picks back up again in January, and then kind of sinks back down in like May or June, and then kind of levels out again, and then it starts that cycle again. And it's pretty much every year is kind of the same, relatively similar numbers. So here's an example. You can actually kind of see, here's the trend. Here's the orange one is the academic library right here. So definitely the spike in August here, which is when the usage, the new semester starts, new students come in, then it kind of drops down around December and January, and then this is actually when their semester peaks back up, is in January, and then it kind of goes back down again. Another one is the yellow library right here in Manitoba. So we actually just recently did a refresh of their app starting in about February. And what we did with the refreshes, we changed up their icons, we changed up the look of the app, we resubmitted it to the app stores, we added some great new features. And as you can see, usage definitely skyrocketed. And another example here is this blue library in Utah. So right around July of 2015 is when, oh, it looks like I typoed there, should have been June of 2014, or July of 2014, there was an increase here because that's when they started to do their marketing of their app, like kind of really hardcore, making sure it's mentioned everywhere for them. All right, so some interesting findings. Last year, we released a surprising study and found that for most of our library customers, the app costs less than $1 a year per patron to maintain. That's probably significantly lower than a lot of other costs to upkeep other library services. Another cool thing that we were able to find is that we've reached the 3 million mobile app downloads to date. We've also reached the 400,000 unique app users per month milestones. While this definitely makes us all warm and fuzzy inside, we know, we definitely couldn't do it without, your libraries participating, downloading, marketing the app so that your patrons have access to all of your great resources. So here's some more of the device usage trends that we found with Boopsie Analytics over the last year. So iOS users tend to be more avid readers. They also take advantage of more library services. So we kind of come to this because if you look at our app, or if you look at the stats, Apple users are the ones that are downloading the app the most. Android, I mean, while it's increased their market share, there are more Apple users out there. Another thing is that kind of the market for Windows, as they're increasing in size, BlackBerry is lowering in size. So we're looking at, our stats are able to tell what kind of device is accessing the mobile app at a time. So we can look in and say, in April, 1,500 people were using Apple, 600 were using Android, 5 were using BlackBerry, 30 were using Windows. So we can kind of show you that breakdown, and then we'll give you the percentage of, how much of that market share that they have access to. So here's a quick, little share. This is what the Boopsie Analytics Dashboard looks like. I was going to do like a live demo where we kind of walk through page by page, but I also didn't want to kind of show everybody what your usage is. So as you can see, kind of here's the monthly and daily downloads. So the dashboards are here along the side, so you can see, there's the downloads for monthly or daily or monthly, daily unique users, queries, and then the main menu channel visits. If you are a consortium library, we do not have access to the main menu channel visits at this time. So kind of here's your little setup. So we can change the date ranges up here. So there's a little calendar, so you can either type in manually the date, or you can select a date from the calendar. Then you click on this refresh right here, and it'll update the chart right here. and it'll show you, what your numbers are at. And then down below for downloads, it'll show you the selected date range. So as you can see, from May 1st of 2014 through April 30th of 2015, this library's had has had 28,156 downloads total. And it shows you the breakdown of, Windows devices, BlackBerry, Android, and then the different iOS devices as well. And then you can see it as well for the daily downloads. As a quick heads up, on the data it is refreshed at 9 a.m. the following day. So for instance, today, after 9 a.m., you'll be able to see the data for the 26th. All right, and so here's our unique users. So by definition, each library app that is downloaded by a user onto a mobile device receives a unique identifier. That way we're not keeping any personal identifiable information. And then what we do for the unique users is track when each of these unique apps are opened by a user during a specific time period. So for instance, during a day, or for instance, during a month. So if you have a patron that has opened the app 10 times in a month, if it's the one single patron, that only counts as one unique user for the month. If you have 10 different unique users, no matter how many times they've opened the app during the month, that'll still count as only 10 unique users for the month. Again, here's our queries. So as I kind of mentioned before, queries are based off of your clicks or keystrokes. So, which is why they often appear much higher than all the other metrics. And if you see, it shows you this is, queries are done in this library. The iPhone has the highest amount of queries, followed by Android, and then the iPads. And you can, again, have the reports daily or monthly. And then this is the main menu channel visits. Again, this is something that is not available at this time for the consortium libraries. We're definitely looking into seeing what we can do to provide them with stats as well for this. But so it kind of gives you a pie chart, and if we were in the platform itself, if you hover over a section, it'll tell you what the percentage is of usage. So here, obviously, search the catalog is going to have the most queries attached to it, because of the fact that there are, you're going to type in more in a catalog search than, for instance, when you go to, say, the library locator or the special collections online. All right, so I had to steal the cat idea from my coworker. I just want to say, as always, I appreciate you taking the time out of your day to join me as I cover, a piece of Boopsie. I'm going to quickly pop over, see if we have any questions in the app. I did have a question. Someone wrote in and asked, when you say info is updated daily by 9 a.m., is that Pacific time or Eastern time? Since we are in the Pacific time zone, we do update in Pacific time. So thank you for your question. Another one is, how do I get access to the Boopsie Analytics platform? So that's really simple. All I need is a quick email from you, just saying, here are all the email addresses that need access to the stats platform, and I can go ahead and add those to the app. It's quick and easy. Also, if for some reason that you've lost your password or you can't log in, you just send me an email as well, and I can send you a password reset, just to make sure that we can kind of keep everything under control. It looks like I'm out of my questions for today. If you don't get a chance to ask today, or if you have something that kind of pops into your head after the webinar, definitely feel free to send us an email, sales@boopsie.com. To get more information about our upcoming webinars, those will be available at boopsie.com/customer-webinars. And that will also have an access or a listing of the previous recorded webinars as well, just so that everything's kind of all in one location. Looks like that's it for me today. Have a great afternoon, and thanks for stopping by.